Lifestyle, lifestyle, lifestyle. Child of God, family, how you doing today? Up late night, walking the dog right now. My best friend. This dog. It's dark because I'm walking the dog late at night. This dog is amazing, man. What a champion dog. Grateful to the Most High for putting the desire in me to get a dog, and even being resilient enough to keep my dog, because you know a lot of people tend to give up their dogs for different reasons. And a lot of people keep their dogs. Most people, I would think, do their best to try to keep their animals. And I'm just so glad that the Most High has blessed me with this dog of mine. He has been a blessing to my life, and he's a really good friend. And I try to be a good friend back and do my best. Anyways, 40 days and 40 nights, no meat. No dainty meats, no sweet breads. How difficult was it? It wasn't really that hard. It was hard, but it wasn't that hard, if that makes sense. What am I trying to say? Well, I could still eat. So I still had nourishment, right? I just didn't have any meat, no steak, no chicken, no seafood, no fish at all. It was just, the hard part was just not being able to fulfill the desire of like having a particular meat that I like. But actually, the benefits from not eating meat, major benefits. I mean, I've never had as much energy, felt as energized. I felt super light. Now, I don't mean like light, like I'm floating light. I just felt light, like not only in the mind, but the body felt light. And I was still able to keep my body weight. I did lose muscle. And I know I've been working hard to try to gain muscle, but my body's just, I don't know, what can I say? I'm just a skinny guy. I'm skinny and strong. But yeah, this was so enlightening for me, going on this fast. This fast was for, the Lord. I mean, it was a petition. I was really petitioning to the Lord. And I was petitioning to the Lord because I want him to come to a resolution, to pick a side, to stand tall on one person's side or another side in reference to the battles that I'm going through. And I'm battling, let me tell you, not only in the physical, but in the spirit and in the mind, right? And it's freaking hard, bro. These battles that I'm dealing with, they're difficult. I'm not even gonna lie to you. One being is because I can't locate my single enemy. And so, I know there's an enemy out there. I know that the enemy is spreading rumors, lies, um, trying to defeat me. They want my purpose. They want my light. They basically want to be me. And I don't know who these persons or people are. I have a clue. I have a couple of clues, and I've had dreams. So I have those clues and those dreams not circumvented, but isolated. And I'm just waiting for revelation. Because the thing is, and I've been asking folks, like, are you a part of this whole thing? And people are getting offended. So I just said, you know what? Not that I care about offending them, but I do care about people who are nice to me. And I do care about people who really, truly look at me as a friend. I don't want to offend you, but I have to do the work, the diligence, You know, the Lord will conceal a matter, but the the glory of the Lord will conceal a matter, but it's for the King's glory to search out a matter. And so I'm searching. It's being concealed. It's being withheld from me. The truth, the knowledge. The enemy has turned the folks away from me based on lies. And, there was a dream that I had a minute ago before the fast. And in this dream, there was black folk and there was people in general, but it didn't really show color. It just showed that people were wearing black. You couldn't really see the race of the people. I assumed that they were black folk just because, well, been raised around black folk my whole life, number one. But number two, um, there was the coloring. And it was also because of the church. It seemed to be they were in church. Now that doesn't mean that they had to be in a literal church. There was some type of gathering. And in this gathering, there's a man. And I definitely figured he was a black person. And he was what looked like at a pulpit or, behind a podium. And he was telling lies about me and spewing lies. And it might not even necessarily been lies about me. It could have just been misinformation or misleading folks down the wrong direction. And I was warning people. I was waving my hands like in an X formation, long arms in an X formation. And I was trying to warn them and they weren't listening. And I was shrinking and they were growing taller. And I said it turning back to me because they were, to the side. So I was basically viewing everybody from their shoulder, from like their shoulder. Hopefully it got that. Yeah, basically I was saying people, it looked like people turned against me because they were turned to their side. So it was like watching people from here. And you're watching people from down there to here, and the guy on the podium, and people began to grow larger, and I began to grow smaller, and as I grew smaller, and people grew larger, eventually they just turned into bubbles, and they floated away, and it was just such a weird dream, and I still don't have an interpretation on it. But I believe that I'm currently going through that particular part of the dream. Now, I didn't get major revelations until the last 10 days of the fast. The last 10 days, I got major revelations. And I protested to the Lord while I was on my fast. I prayed, reading the word, not as much, more praying, getting my faith together, right? Because faith is what the Lord wants from us. But anywho, more praying, and more praying. And so I'm praying in meditation, I'm fasting. And the last 10 days, the Lord gives me some more dreams. And family, these dreams, I mean, I don't know why my dreams have to be so difficult to interpret, okay? I'm just like, Lord, why don't you make it easy on a brother and let me know what these interpretations are? And this whole time since I moved out of my house in DC, even before, see, the thing is, before I even moved out, a year before I moved out, the Lord has started making me dream. And I had the dream that I just told you about with the people turning their back or whatever. I had that dream. Cash! I had that dream before I moved out. I had a whole bunch of dreams before I moved out of my DC home at the time. But okay, so 40 days fast, feeling great, eating nothing but vegetables, oats, um, vegan foods, vegetarian foods. Basically any restaurant that's making, nothing with meat in it. I did have some vegetable ramen with the broth comes from vegetables, which was really good. So it was good. It was healthy. I actually miss just being on this fast. Like, I don't need meat. I really went back to meat, and it was great when I had meat. It was like, oh, pause no homo to all these meats, by the way. But but when I had meat, it was like, oh, this is great. I had barbecue. It was great. But really, the satisfaction came from my salads. It came from the carbs that I ate. It came from just vegetables in general, like, and fruits. And I felt incredible. Um, I felt incredible. So the one of the dreams that the Lord gave me, and so, you know, I got to give you the full scope because yeah, I got to give you the full scope because the Lord definitely gave me a dream that was very powerful. And I don't really know, um, I'm not too sure on what's going on. You know, I just wish the Lord would reveal it to me. And there's also been some very, very powerful dreams that I had before I left my DC house. It's getting dark because I'm changing areas. And very powerful dreams. These dreams are like dreams of me doing things that people could never have imagined. I say never could imagine in the sense of like, okay, these dreams that I had were like of success, of me going to places I've never been, nobody's ever been. Um, they were just magical, these dreams. And I was like, whoa, Lord, is this what happens at the end for me? Yeah, the power. And so, but I can't tell you those dreams yet, right? I cannot because I cannot risk the devil knowing. Even though I have told some people because I'm trying to get interpretation on it, I can't risk the entire population knowing this dream. People are going to try to stop me. They're already trying to stop me, but people are really going to try to stop me if I tell you some of these dreams that the Lord gave me that are not in a negative connotation, a negative light. Looked at as, they're just very positive dreams. I know it was positive because what happened. But the dream that the Lord gave me, because I'm babbling, the dream that the Lord gave me for the last 10 days, it was just major revelations in the last 10 days. The Lord was really downloading things. But there's one dream, I'll tell you this one dream. And so the one dream, I don't remember how it started, but before we got to the climax or the middle of the dream, basically I was in like a library almost. And it wasn't a complete library. It was really just a bookshelf. And I basically appeared in this room. There was a bookshelf. And on the bookshelf, on a book or behind some books or in between some books, I found a phone. And this phone, the only thing that is said on the front of the phone was Jade. Jade. And it was flashing. It was flashing like, I don't know, like an SOS, like an emergency. It was flashing. I would say the colors of it was flashing were like a reddish, yellowish, orangish color. And it could have been looked at as like a warning, I guess. Probably more red than yellow and orange, but it was just flashing Jade across the screen. And it was literally in big letters. Like, it was in big letters. It was only, JADE is only 4 letters, but it was big letters. And that's all that you could see on the phone. You just seen Jade flashing, flashing. Now, Jade, I do know this person. And so I turned around. And as I turned around, I began to see, the person, Jade. And she was what it appeared as if she was working at some type of retail store. I remember that's what it appeared. Now, I couldn't tell you if it was an actual retail store or what kind of store it was, but it appeared that she was working somewhere and she was walking around, maybe organizing something or grabbing this and grabbing that. And, this person is a very special person. Not necessarily, how do I put this? This person is a very special person in spirit. In the spiritual realm, this person is a very special person. I'll leave it at that because I don't know if special is good or bad. And so this person was doing something. It looked like she was working. That's the impression that I had from that particular scene of the dream. When I turned around, it appeared that she was working in some type of retail store, clothing store. It appeared that way. She could have been doing something totally opposite. That's just what it appeared to look like. And then I went into the next scene and I was driving my car. And I'm driving my car. On these roads that I was driving my car, they were like narrow, kind of like how the European roads are, right? In like England and Italy, if you will, in France, if you will. You see those movies and you see how tight the roads are, right? And so I was driving down these roads and it was a tight road and I was coming out into like what looked like a circular intersection. Circular meaning like, these tight roads you see in Europe, and then you see a circle that kind of like you jump in the circle and there's multiple exits and you get off in your exit, right? So it was like that. And on the corner of the exit into the circle was a woman and a child. Now, I know the woman. This was Jade's mother. And she was holding a child. Now, this child was a light-skinned child, maybe even almost albino. I just remember that the child had red hair. This was also before that whole girl from Alabama going missing, finding a child on the highway, some man with red hair stole her type deal, which we come to find out it was a lie the whole time. But the child I remember the child was light-skinned and it had red hair. The child had red hair. And you know how you see some light-skinned people in the hood, or it doesn't necessarily have to be in the hood. This is where I've only seen these particular type of light-skinned people is like in the hood, and they look truly black in the face, right? They have all the black features, but they're light-skinned or albino colored, and they have reddish color hair. There's different dynamics to that, but I just remember the hair was long. It wasn't short. And what makes me think about it now when I think about it is kind of like a troll, right? But I didn't really see the child's face. I did, but I couldn't describe the child. It was more or less like I seen Jade's mother with this child. Now, I can't disclose to you who Jade is or who her mother is and all that. I can't disclose that. All I can say is it's just a person I know, and I know her mom as well. And so there's this child, and she was with the child, and they both were on the corner. Now, they weren't homeless necessarily. I don't think that's what was going on. It looked as if like Jade's mother was watching this child, you know. While they were on the street corner, I don't know. I didn't see anything of like, you know, ragged garments or anything like that. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. All I can say is that I don't remember what she was wearing, Jade's mother. I kind of remember her sitting down on like a short uh, object. Like, you know, those objects that sit on the road that you can't move. They're made of cement and they're just there. You know, they're there as barriers, right? So she was sitting on like one of these like short stone cemented barriers, and the child was with her, and the child was kind of moving around. Um, I guess you could say she looked at me as I drove past, and I looked at her, but I drove past. So this was in passing. I was in my car, drove past, and I seen the woman and the child. Well, let me tell you, um, that was the end part of that first half of the dream. Now, the second half of the dream, I walked into, I was walking, I had a book bag on. Now, I've had a couple of dreams like this of me walking with a book bag on. I gotta research that. I just looked at it as like I'm on my journey, I'm traveling, and I'm on my journey. I'm on my quest, if that makes more sense. I'm questing out right now. But in this part of the dream, there was a guy. Now, I couldn't see the guy at first. It was like a silhouette, if you will. Almost smoky, but not really necessarily smoky. Maybe foggy-ish, right? And I remember seeing this guy and this car, the ALFA ROMERO Giulia. It was the top of the line one, not the little basic joint. It was the top of the line ALFA ROMERO Giulia, right? And the guy, he was kind of buff looking, right? He looked like he had muscles and his shoulders were big and thin waist, you know. Legs looked pretty serious in a sense. I couldn't establish how tall or big he was. It was at a distance, but as I walked up on him, it appeared to be somebody that I know. It also appeared to be somebody that was like a friend of mine. It appeared that this person was a friend of mine or a family member. I'm gonna be quite honest, I thought about my father. I also thought about maybe somebody in my father's family line, right? Maybe not necessarily my father, but somebody in my father's family line. And the Alfa Romero, you know, I looked like a Ferrari from the back end as you know, if you're walking up from behind the car and you walk, you know, towards the front of the car, it appeared to be like a Ferrari at first. And as I was walking, observing the car, I'm like, yo, bro, congratulations. I congratulated the person. I was very happy for them. Now, I don't really like that car. That car looks okay, but that's not a car I would drive. It's not a car that I would pick for myself, I'm gonna be honest. You know, Alfa Romero, not really. That's not my thing. And they're very cheap, actually. They're cheap. They're not expensive at all. So, you know, I congratulate them. And so after I congratulate them, it seemed like we conversed a little bit. Obviously, I couldn't hear the conversation. I could never hear conversations when we're dreaming. And the camera, right? I say camera, but really the imagery from my dream, it like goes from the back of the car to the front of the car slowly. Somewhat slow. And you know, I'm observing all the features of the car on the outside. It looks nice. And then it comes down to the front. Now, this is how I knew it was an Alfa Romero, because of the logo. Family, the logo. And I'm like, and then like the scene just kind of focused on that logo. And I'm like, Lord, what in the world? What? And so like me and this person end up sitting on the front end of the car, right? Where the you know, the front end. The front end of the car. And I can't think of the hood. We end up sitting on the hood of the car. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And we were conversing, and I remember the dude, you know, the guy that apparently I knew or was a friend or whatever, that I congratulated. He like folded his arms across over, and we sat on the hood, and we had a conversation. And then at the end, that's when the camera or my dream really focused in on the logo, the ALFA ROMERO logo. Now, the logo from ALFA ROMERO has a lot of components. First of all, the basis of the logo is a cross, a red cross with a white background on one side. On the other side is Quetzalcoatl, or a serpent dragon king that devours people or rebirths people. I don't know which one it is. The reason why I gave you both of those descriptions is because when I looked into the logo, that's what it said. It can be interpreted as the person's being devoured or that the person's being born. And so, yeah, Cash wants to get on camera. Hey, Cash. Hey, buddy. It's my puppy. Hello. Hi, Nuppy. Hi. You see Cash? Who is it? Where they at? Hungry? Hungry. Oh, my best friend. Yes. And so, okay, go play. On the other side is this dragon with a crown on top of its head, with a man coming out of its body or being devoured by it, being swallowed. And there's just so much information on both sides of that small part of the logo. Now, the logo extends past that. Now, there's a blue-ish background behind that, circular. There's like another layer, right? And there's like knots on the logo. There's like a rope with a knot on it. It says ALFA ROMERO. And by my research, you know, the cross side basically has something to do with this priest, Catholic Italian priest. You know, the Vatican's in Italy, so, you know, Milan is, first of all, you know, ALFA ROMERO is based out of Milan, Italy. And Milan has major history, okay? Major history. And the cross represents the priest, like I was getting to, this very popular, renowned priest, warrior almost. I think he was a warrior also, in the sense of like he went to battle. But he has major history, this particular priest. Now, don't ask me the name. I forgot. You can look it up, okay? Wikipedia, ALFA ROMERO. You'll get the whole scoop. But the dragon, I found information on it, but that dragon really comes from Mayan history or Mayan mythology, in which Quetzalcoatl, some type of god, a feathered serpent god, he rebirthed or he swallowed men. And yeah, so that's where it comes from originally. But and actually this dragon in Italian is called Biscone. 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 And so I don't know how all this relates to me or what's going on, family. Okay, this is the dreams I had after going on a 40-day no meat fast. Are you hearing me? And so I'm like, what is going on, Lord God? And of course, the Most High has not revealed what this dream means to me just yet. And it's kind of spooky because I honestly feel like the devil himself might have come to speak to me in my dream. And I don't know what we conversated about. What I can say is that the next day, after I had that dream, I seen the ALFA ROMERO Julia, excuse me. I seen that car twice. The day after that, I seen it again. I seen the exact one I seen in my dream, the top of the line Julia. And I seen a guy who resembled the guy that was driving the Julia. He resembled the guy from the dream, family. He looked just like him. Now, facial features, I don't know because I couldn't see the guy's face. But the guy that I seen was a Spanish guy. So I think that it might have had something to do with my father or maybe somebody down my father's line. So I seen it for the third time in reality. And I had to speak to the person, of course. And when I spoke to the person, I was like, whoa. I was like, bro, you were in my dream. And he looked at me like, huh? I was like, bro, you don't know me from anything. I described that part of the dream to him. And he was just looking at me in like shock or amazement or disbelief. I don't know which one. It could have been either one. And, you know, we talked a little bit. I told him about the dream and then I rolled out. And I was like, Lord, what is going on? Excuse me. I'm like, Lord, what is going on? What is going on, Lord God? I'm like, Lord, what do you got going on with these dreams you keep giving me? And so, yeah, family, I believe that the Lord is trying to send me a message and tell me something. Now, I met with this one Islamic dude at the gym one day, and I told him about the dream. And he was like, bro, let me tell you, your dream? He was saying that the symbols, the cross and the dragon, they're one and the same. He was like, they're one and the same. They're the same thing. And I was like, I don't know, brother. You know, I like the nation. Not necessarily the nation of Islam, but I like the nation of Islamic Muslim believers. Like, I like them in general. They're really cool people. But yeah, like, I don't know what was going on with this dream, family. And that was just somebody else's opinion of it. And I've been going around to different churches. I went to a church recently this weekend. I didn't actually attend the church. I just went there and was like, you know, and they met me at the door and I'm like, yeah, you know, what's the deal with y'all? Y'all got dream interpreters in here? And the lady was like, you know, dream interpretation is a special gift from God. And I'm like, yeah, well, where's your people who interpret dreams? Because I have a lot of dreams they need to interpret. And, you know, she helped me out in the sense of like, she listened to the dream. She wrote down my information that she was going to give to one of their, I guess, junior pastors or pastoral people that's there. And I'm hoping I get the revelation. Now, I think the last day before my fast ended, I seen Jesus in a cloud. And I was on a particular parkway. I won't say the parkway. It wasn't in Northern Virginia. It wasn't in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. It was somewhere else. And I was on this parkway driving back to the DMV. And I had a long drive, but I was beginning my quest. And so, you know, it was storming. This was before the whole DC storm, DMV storm, where it knocked down mad trees, of course. And the clouds, you know how clouds get before it storms and rains. And I seen Jesus in a cloud. I swear to you, I seen Jesus in a cloud, or what was presumed as Jesus. I seen, the beard, the face, the thin face, and what appeared to be like a crown of roses. Not roses, excuse me, thorns. In the depiction of the clouds, in the cloud depiction. And so, I was driving, and I was really close to the cloud that looked like Jesus. And all of a sudden, the cloud just really like started moving quickly. I would say, to me, because I'm driving forward, it looked like it was going backwards, right? And it was going backwards fast. And I even tried to keep up with it, right? Because I was like, is that Jesus in the cloud? I was like, is that Jesus on a cloud? That's crazy. And so I was driving, and I'm driving, and I couldn't get. I'm resuming where I left off at. So I was driving, and it felt like I seen Jesus. I felt like it looked as if I seen Jesus in the cloud, on the end of a cloud. And, I talked about that driving, and it appeared that he was getting further away as I was driving faster. Then all of a sudden the cloud changed. And as the cloud changed, I no longer seen, the image. It just was like a normal cloud. And when I looked again after driving for a little bit, I seen another image. I seen an image of a wizard. I say wizard because he had this, this super long beard, as a wizard would have. It looked like you could see the beard. And it wasn't like the Jesus beard. This was like a wizard's beard. You also seen the nose. The nose was very peculiar in the sense that it was long like a wizard, or what you would appear to think was a wizard. But really was the hair and the hat. Like, I could tell that there was some type of hat on this image in the cloud. The clouds formed this image. And now this image was getting closer to me. Once I seen it, it was like this image was getting closer to me, and like lightning went through it and all that. I'm totally not playing with you. I'm not making this up. And yeah, lightning definitely went through the image, and it was getting closer. And then eventually the storm was just like over top of me, and I didn't see the image anymore, but the storm was storming. And so, family, I just wanted to relay these dreams to you. Maybe somebody has an interpretation. If anybody watches, please like, subscribe. I'm also going to add my Cashapp. I'm going to add my Cashapp in the description. Also PayPal. No, just Cashapp for now. And just in case anybody wants to help out with my projects and plans, and just if anybody wants to donate and contribute to my channel. But yeah, these are the dreams that I had in the last 10 days of my fast. Also, remember that one of them wasn't a dream. It was just me in reality seeing things like, in the clouds. Today is today is the third day of me not smoking weed. I am going on a more intense fast now. I'm going to sacrifice something to the Lord that I have never really sacrificed unless I got in trouble with the law. But the law, no. Weed wasn't always legal. And actually, no. Yeah, weed wasn't always legal. And then, when you're on probation or anything like that, you can't smoke. So I'm doing this free of will, free of charge. Excuse me. You know, because I care about the Lord and I care about what the Lord has planned for me. I'm really interested in knowing, like, okay, Lord, what is it about all these dreams? What do you want from me? What do you have planned for me? Based on all the dreams you've given me, not just this one particular one. And yeah, family, the spiritual stuff, man, is very difficult to interpret it, but we gotta try to do our best. And I'm still interpreting. I'm still interpreting from my own personal, you know, education of how I learn, you know, whatever I know how to research. It could be that the Lord Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach, it could be that the Most High Yah, it could be that the serpent, the devil himself, Lucifer, they're all trying to get me to choose a side. It could be that. Am I on the devil's side? Probably in certain areas of my life, right? You know, because there's just certain things that us as human beings, we want to keep attached to us. It could be. I don't think so necessarily. I think that there might be even more deeper meaning. Honestly, you know, I see numbers too. Like, I'm seeing numbers. So, you know, there's some pastors that say that seeing numbers is witchcraft. Okay, well, you might be right about that. I don't know. There are a lot of other, not just pastors, but, you know, people of God that say that numbers are definitely from God and God uses numbers to speak. And so I'm seeing numbers. Now, there was another dream that I had. I'm not going to put that on this particular live, because I don't really do lives. This is like my second live ever. But I've been seeing numbers, and you know, one of the numbers that I've been seeing is 252, 252, 252, and I see it a lot. And one day I was in a land that's not my own. It was in the country, actually. I was at their outlet out in the country, and they have this toy store there. And you know, I love toy stores because toy stores are really classic, right? Like, they don't have toy stores anymore. Like, they have a toy section at Walmart, at Target, but toy stores like a Toys R Us, which is ancient history, yeah, you don't see those too often. So I had to go in there, and of course they had all types of like anime things and, you know, things from my past as a child. So I just was like fanning out. I was fanning out in there. So, and you know, they have those little pop things, those little pop dolls, you know, the figurines. They're like miniature figurines of like pop culture, things of pop culture, mostly people. And you know, they have the big heads and the small bodies. You know what I'm talking about? The P-O-P. And so I was looking at the pops, you know, because I like to look at them because I like to see if they might have any Dragon Ball Z or any Ninja Turtle ones, and because I collect those particularly, amongst other ones, but particularly those. And I seen one with Tupac Shakur on it, and I was like, oh cool, they got a Tupac pop, that's cool. And you know, they all have numbers. All the pops have numbers on them, like they are numbered. And Tupac's number on the pop figurine, and you can Google this. Google P.O.P. pop figurines, Tupac Shakur, and it's gonna pop up. And the number, I'm like, Lord, why in the world excuse me. I'm like, what in the world is going on? And I used to tell people a lot, when I first started podcasting, mainly on Facebook and then now on YouTube, I was telling people, like, I am Tupac, you know what I mean? I'm Tupac Shakur. Not in literal sense, but like figuratively, and, for the Lord, right? For the Lord, I'm for the revolution, right? It's West Side. I wish Tupac would say it. He sounds so much better saying it. And I'm always throwing up dubs because I'm from the coast. That's originally where I'm from. Oakland, baby. But Tupac's number was 252, family. And so I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, Lord. You know me. Lord. I said, Lord. I said, yeah, hey, oh yeah. Man, I was like, Lord, what in the world? What is going on? Why you keep showing me? You've been showing me 252, 252, 252, 252. Then all of a sudden I see 252 and it's next to Tupac Shakur, who I have been, adamant on telling people, like, I'm the Tupac of this shit, right? Of this new revolution-ish, right? So I'm like, Lord, I don't know what you're doing, what you got going on, what you're trying to explain to me, because you're not really explaining. You're showing me all these things, but there's no explanation behind them. There's no definition behind them. The interpretation, I'm telling you, I need an interpreter. I need an interpreter for my life, man. I don't know what's going on. Basically, I'm dealing with right now. Ever since me and my ex at the time, Antoinette, broke up, I've been going through a spiritual battle. Ever since we broke up, I started dreaming crazy. I've started going through spiritual battles that I don't even understand, nor do I know why I'm going through these spiritual battles. Ever since we broke up, I've been going through these battles and having dreams. Seeing numbers really started more recently. I don't know. See them in the physical reality of living and, just being. But to see them while I'm dreaming, that is a new level of spiritualness, whether it be witchcraft or, God. I don't know what it is. Hopefully it's God, but, I'm seeing numbers. In my dreams and outside of the dreams. And I'm just like, Lord, why am I being tormented? In the sense that I don't know what this stuff means. Excuse me. I'm tired. I'm about to go to bed. I'm on my way to the crib. But what I would say, family, is that, what I would just say is that this is mind-blowing stuff that's happening to me. I don't understand it. I do not understand it. And I pray for revelation. I've been praying every day. I'm still researching things, trying to figure all this stuff out when it comes to all the dreams that I've had. I mean, there's so many. And I've been dreaming ever since, like I said, me and her broke up. The girl Jade is somebody I dated. Jade is from the beginning of this whole entire, live. And, I dated Jade for 2 years. And I rather liked the Jade. The thing is that I really feel like she was Delilah, And, she's definitely welcome to her opinion and express herself at all times. One of the only women that never made me mad. One of the only women that never made me mad, although she did stuff to make me mad. And that's why I said she reminded me of Delilah, because Delilah was, on Samson's case, and he would just laugh at her. He didn't really, There's other revelations and things I want to confess about this particular person and situation. But on another note, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. I've been training for the last 4 days now. 3 days in karate straight, putting in my time and my hours and at work, and then just at the gym all day today, just grinding. So I'm really tired. You can see I'm tired. I've just been really working on myself physically, training and training and training, karate and boxing. So I'm tired, family. But, you know, the Cashapp, $, capital T, Tropics, capital V, capital A, TropicsVA is the Cashapp. And, you know, my full name and everything will be under there. If you decide to donate or contribute to my Cashapp, I'm going to put it in the description probably when I wake up in the morning. Family, you have a great day. Peace unto you. And I pray that the Lord, the Most High, opens your eyes and reveals things to you. I pray that the Lord, the Most High, opens your eyes and reveals things to you. Because there's a lot that's coming to us. There's so much that's coming down the pipeline. We're not prepared. Even the people that think they're secured and all that, they're not secure. They're not prepared. Some of the dreams that I've had are devastating dreams, and I'm just like, wow, Lord, everybody is in for a rude awakening. This is lifestyle here, child of God. You already know what it is. West Side-ish, Tupacalypse Now. And all praise to the Most High Yah. And I pray that the Most High Yah, just like I said, opens up revelation in your mental, in your mind, whoever you are out there that may be watching this later on. Peace. Thank you, family. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I'm content where I'm at, even though it's not the best of places right now. But I'm all about the grind. I've been grinding for a long time. Lifestyle here, child of God. Peace.